Okay, so
Did we go live with that?
no, I don't
but-
think
Oh
so. Dean likes to, play it close to
risque.
the edge. So, the other thing you asked about buying Doxy is some sort of bracer to increase your defense. So your armor
Like
right now,
any piece of armor that I could do that wouldn't replace my shell armor because that is too sentimental.
Exactly. You can get basically minor adjustments to your AC via magical means. Let me just look into that for you. What would you guys want to do? The not water breathing people who are currently water breathing, while you're down on many trips to this Triton city.
Good question.
I still have quite a lot of gold to spend. Not to mention, after my previous bashing of the sea elves, I am interested to see their smithing. So I would once again suggest to Gilwyn, perhaps we could go and have a look at weapons, because that is what occupies my mind most of the time.
Honestly, I'm kind of thinking I need an upgrade in that regard.
Yes, me too, actually. Yeah, you need all the help you can get with your safety. He
Yeah,
literally starts making a jabbing motion. and
Hey
he's like,
Doxy, what's your budget for AC bonus?
I have just over 2,000 gold.
Yeah, no. So braces of defense exist. They expensive, but there is a cheaper option. Let me look into that. You guys want to go look for weapons as well? Equipment,
Yes, please.
just in
Cloak of
general.
protection, eh? That's what he's looking for right now. I'm calling it.
Maybe, maybe not.
Looking for magnum braces.
Vale would assist you.
Durex braces, yeah?
Oh my god! Wow.
You said protection, that's what my mind went to. Go on, what were you saying?
Well, at least you're
I would say, because these people like you, if you were willing to spend that whole 2,000, they could give you a ring of protection, which increases your AC and your saving throws by 1.
I was wrong.
Slightly better than a cloak of protection.
Yeah, all right, let's do it.
The ring can look pretty much however you want for your aesthetic purposes.
Obviously would have a pearl, right?
Yeah, protective magic and all that. A pearl or a quartz, but down here a pearl.
So I'm cleaned out then.
But with after a week of time down here, and time is a little wibbly wobbly right now because they're going to be buying stuff, you do get your axe is freshly enchanted with the ability to channel your rage, your magic much more naturally.
Oh crap! Yeah, I forgot about that.
So it is a +1 weapon. If you go to your place where you have that weapon stored in Roll20, the damage rolls, you can add a magic bonus of +1. The big important thing about that is it now actually can damage magical creatures, right?
How much does that +1 cost?
1,000 gold here. If you wanted to just +1 a weapon, any of you, 1,000 gold in a week of time, you could all have it done around about the same way.
I
At
think
the same
not
time.
+1. Oh well, no, I'll hold off because I want to see whether they have anything else before I +1 anything.
Oh, it was a magic bonus? I put that in the wrong place.
It is a magic bonus, yeah.
Okay. And should I put bypass magic in the description?
If you just say that the axe is +1, yeah, it's magical.
Magical. That's the
It's magical.
magical. Magical.
Yeah, it's a magic bonus, so... As long as we all remember, let me look to see if they had anything exciting that they'd be willing to show you. I'm very warm right now. I shouldn't have worn such a polite sweater.
It's because you're hot.
It's a nice sweater, I like it.
It's
Yeah,
a nice
I really
sweater.
Like it too.
I'm just very heated. Okay, so I've opened up a PDF which has information, yet it's opened up on the Cintiq, which isn't turned on. So give me a second. It's going, entirely wrong. A lot of the weapons they have down here are not actually made of metal, Mr. Vale. They have full suits of armor, shields, pikes, blades. usually made of bones and shells, but you wouldn't be able to tell that a lot of the time.
I have no idea what just happened, Diener.
I was describing armor and Neil made a face. But I know he's not looking for armor. I was just describing. You know, Mr. Vale, there is something they'd be willing to sell you, which would be quite exciting for you.
Excite me, Daddy.
Because you're making a bit of a show. You're becoming friends of the city. They use a type of weapon because they can't apply poisons to blades down here. But there's quite a lot of it's very useful to take down foes much bigger than yourselves. So they have daggers that inject poisons. You store the poison in a sort of glass mechanism that is kind of designed and filtered into the... If this was made by like a human or a dwarf or even an elf, it would look much more mechanical. This it just kind of has these looping tunnels that kind of swoosh into the blade at the top. And once you pour inside up to 3 doses of a poison, you can use them whenever you want.
That does sound interesting.
It would cost you, and this is a friend price, of 400 gold. What kind of thing would you be interested in, Gilwyn? Neil, I kind of know.
Probably, if possible, some sort of magical rapier or short sword.
If you wanted to... So, I mean, if you wanted to upgrade something to +1, that is straight up 1,000 gold. If you wanted to buy something upgraded to +1, that's 1,000 gold. If you want to spend a little bit less, you could have a bone rapier that's keen-bladed, which means it would crit on a 19 to 20. Just designed to be much more devastating. Yeah, that would really be the 2 things that would be exceptionally exciting to you. Other than just regular enchantment.
Any short swords down here?
Yeah, you could get the same thing in a short sword. They don't use short swords so much, but they would have... and they could craft one for you if you wanted, which would be, that sort of thing. They with sort of knightly combat they usually don't use short swords, but they would be available if you wanted to get a keen one or a level or a +1 one, which would be short swords of what, like 20 gold? A keen weapon would cost 700 gold here.
It's expensive but not unreasonable considering.
Considering?
Do I want that? That's the question. The problem is I then need to pick up poisons.
Yes, but I imagine you would be a bit more diligent about keeping them when you kill monsters and stuff like that, wouldn't you? If you had a way to apply them.
That's true, yeah. All right, let's get it.
Hey.
400. 400.
400. Let's see if there's any exciting poisons here. Well, I don't remember if I used the poisons in this book or in other books. Let me take a moment. This is the exciting part where we do all the shopping. But I love shopping in D&D, so you're going to stay here and watch it.
You love it.
You love it.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Neil, give me that sword and get another one.
Or you get another one and I'll give you that sword.
I could do that.
We could do that. We could come to an arrangement.
Leaves are cool, and it's autumn leaves. That's cooler.
That's fair. I'm down.
That is a very bardic weapon, I feel like.
It could fit either of them quite well.
He's your boy.
Any of you, actually, but it's too small for you. Size Queen Indira.
Wow.
You like some big?
Point me at what you want, Vale. and I will buy it.
I mean, obviously, I want something keen. Whether I want
And beer is keen.
Oof. Whether I want a keen rapier or a short sword, I don't know. I was
might want to mix it up.
Yeah, we've both been wielding short swords. I've been wielding a short sword for a long time, and you've been wielding a rapier. So let's swap.
Swap. Get a keen rapier, the sort of fishbone one. If you really wanted to splash with cash, you could get that enchanted another further +1.
Let's do it.
I would, yeah. I'll do the enchanting cost.
Okay.
Oh, but screw that. If I'm getting that, do I want the poison blade? I don't know.
I'll get you it both.
No, you can't do that.
Yes, I can.
I still owe you money. Oh no, maybe I don't because I paid off your debt for being a slave.
Look, just tell me what you want and I'll put it on my dad's credit card.
Oh, it's funny because we've got his. We've actually got his ring as well. We've got his seal. A keen rapier.
That was
And
700.
Ollie's just spent up all that time looking up poison, so I feel really guilty. I need the poison dagger as well, really.
700 and 400, is that what you said?
700 and 400.
Okay, 1100, that's easy.
Yeah. Injectable poison dagger and a keen bone rapier.
1100 gold to my best friend in the entire galaxy, Bill.
Thank you.
Now give me my fucking sword.
Alright, okay. Autumn Blade, there you go.
Thank you.
Might want to copy paste the fluff of it as well.
Oh yeah.
Because I know Neil wrote that all out. Alright.
Oh, I did, but I deleted it instantly.
Okay, Dean! The Autumn Blade has 6 charges. You can use an action to plunge it into the ground. And it creates a 10-foot aura of half cover, which is a +2 AC. It uses a charge for each turn it's in the ground, so.
Thank you.
It is magical. The Keen Blade is not magical, Neil.
Yeah, but I'm gonna enchant it.
Okay, you're going to enchant it +1?
Yep. Yes, please.
Awesome. When you get it enchanted, this isn't special. When Indira got her axe head enchanted, you know, the master enchanters that work in the castle in the, you know, the depths where the enchanting and the smelting areas are where like these hot chambers with the geothermal vents in them. Hers was made special. It's like, I've got something that I've always wanted to give to you, an enchantment. When they do yours, they kind of like hold the weapon over the geothermal vents and kind of do a little bit of very practiced magic, and it takes time, and you see them do it multiple times. But the rapier, when you know, eventually it's time to leave or whatever, you get onto the ship, the rapier is steaming. It's constantly got a sort of steaming vapor over it, and kind of is extra hot to the touch. So really the +1 is the sort of the essence of the geothermal, the vents poured into it. Cool.
Very
With that,
cool.
are you guys ready to ship off? Or is there anything else you want to do here? Or is there anything else you want to do in downtime before you go off to Shorebow for your next little adventure?
It would make sense to me if we are taking a holiday, as it were. But I am not fussy either way. If we want to get straight into it, that's fine. That Vale would learn to use a poisonous kit.
What's your intelligence modifier?
0.
It would take you 10 weeks.
And cost me money.
Yeah.
I can buy.
You could also, so what you could do is you could essentially buy the book. You could buy a little bit of teaching while you're here, buy a book, and then be learning that like on the ship in the future, right? Because you got to also bear in mind that you're like a month out from where you want to be. So like, let me just find that for you. Training. So it's going to take you 10 weeks. So that would be 250 gold.
Yeah, I don't have that much money. Never mind.
Future goal. All right. Ship off.
Shopping spree over.
Shopping spree over in the Triton City. Alrighty.
Bonus achieved. Achievement get.
Okay. When you get back to the ship and you start sailing off back towards Shorebow, leaving, you know, a nice little place. Gilwyn, when you're like done setting up for the day on the ship and you get down on your bed, you sit down, you have to sit on something. You check under your blanket, and there is a harp. The harp is very clearly of Triton or maybe mermaid make. There were some mermaids in that city. Made of sort of the underside of coral shells with silken strings. It's honestly a work of art. And there is a little note that has a rough sort of charcoal heart and is signed with an eye.
I like pluck its strings as I pick it up.
Sounds good.
I like look to my door and consider going out. And I'll stand up and like exit and look for Indira.
Probably would
You'll
still
find
be
her
up
in her
there.
quarters.
Ah. You tell me.
Hello.
Enter.
Hi, Captain.
Gilwyn.
I found a stowaway.
Yeah, no, that's for you.
Did you buy that in?
I did.
Huh. Thank you.
You're welcome. I saw it and you deserve pretty things. Life has been really ugly to you lately.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree.
Have you played it yet?
I fingered its strings once. But I haven't played it yet. This is a good opportunity for me to talk to you because I meant to.
Okay. Make yourself comfortable.
Oh, thank you. I'll like sit down on one of the, I'm sure, many plush chairs she has in here.
She'll sit at the end of her bed, just kind of like hugging her knee.
That forehead thing. I'm just gonna be. I do like you, but Vale likes you, and the last thing I want is for someone I really like to go away again. I honestly don't think there is room in my heart for two people that I care about as much as I care about Vale.
I hear you. Is that everything then?
I guess so.
Then I suppose you're dismissed.
Aye, aye, Captain. I'll stand up and walk out.
The trip to Shorebow is a little cold. Coincidentally, due to sort of ambling and taking your time in the city down there and figuring things out. When you arrive there, It's actually the first day of the new year. And most cultures celebrate the new year a little bit. In Jarviskjir, instead of celebrating something like Christmas, they're just like, hey, this is it. Although some religions have a sort of winter holiday as well. But yeah, you arrive to Shorbo. Shorbo is one of the tropical islands out in the seas of Tron, similar to Danbo where you were before, because Bo is sort of shorthand for island in Tronite language, so that's why they call them like that. It's bigger than Danbo was, though. This island is quite a large sugar plantation and all the industries that grow around it. Noticeably, Gilwyn, there is a Goldport Navy ship in the docks, and you would probably stop before you even get up to the island itself to kind of decide what you want to do, because Indira knows she probably shouldn't straight up go up to the docks. And the fact that the Navy is there might be a little worrying. Navy to another nation that you're not very far away from. The island itself seems to have quite a bustling, busy tropical town, sort of at the docks on the sort of southeast-ish side of the island, where the rest of the island is either untamed tropics or tamed sugar plantation. And Indira can tell you that the slave owner of the island, the Kilgraven family, live atop the hill, kind of in the center of it all, of the plantation.
Okay. Sir?
We plan.
What is the plan? You haven't really told us much other than...
Right. I haven't. We've been, preoccupied, I guess. There's a wicked woman that lives here.
Okay.
We need to dismiss her from her mortal coil.
I look straight at Vale when she says that, what the fuck?
You know, we are trying to avoid how do you say, assassinating people, particularly those in positions of power.
Right. Well, this mission calls for assassinating somebody in a position of power. So I could do it alone, I suppose.
Okay, well, I feel maybe we need to set some ground rules again. I feel like that's a little bit manipulative, because we have both seen you try to sneak, and that is what an assassination requires. You would not be able to do this alone if they have at least 2 sentries, which I would suspect a slave owner would. That seems foolish. Why would you not have sentries to protect you when you own slaves who might be angry and think that anyway, I digress. Why does she need to die?
She owns people.
Does she have a family?
No. I already killed him.
I feel a little morally unsure of this quandary. Not sure who is in the right. You killed her husband?
He was a very wicked man who owned people.
Right, okay, and what good did that achieve?
Well, nothing, because I blundered it up the first time. Clearly, that's why we're here.
And what is to say that we go and kill this woman? A worse man or woman does not take their place.
There is no worse man or woman to take the place on this island.
People can grow into bad people. Maybe there's somebody below her that will take the place.
Well, then I'll come back with another crew who enjoys liberating people as much as I do.
You mean enjoys murdering people?
Liberating people. This
You
is
are
one
not-
person. We are killing one person to save hundreds of lives. Do you know what they do to their slaves? Do you know what they do? They own them, Vale.
That is what a
These
slave
people
means.
don't make
You
decisions.
own a slave. That is how it works.
Well, not with Indira the Storm around.
I do not wish to risk our lives on a foolish mission that may not be worth it.
Then don't.
I don't think killing her will have the outcome you think it will.
Why not talk to her, change her mind?
There is no changing greed. Aravale.
Perhaps if you show her that kindness leads to more profit, then greed would work in our advantage.
So I suppose it's your degree in economics that will come in handy here. I don't have one.
It is my study and teaching in the high art of strategy that will help us here. One should not simply seek to shed blood because they believe it will solve their problem. They should know it will solve their problem. I am not saying that I have not been guilty of that in the past, but
He
I
has.
am older and wiser than I was then. And I also seem to have this small, annoying voice in my ear that says, well, don't kill people. That's you, Gilwin.
Yeah.
I've seen you kill several people.
Have you?
Yeah. How is this different from the other slaves that we freed? How is it different? Why do you have a problem with this, but you did that?
I'm fairly certain we did point out we had a small problem then, but we needed the boat. So,
I had a debt.
how you say? I guess we sort of waived that morality so that we could use the boat.
Right. Well, I guess I was just hoping that since I lent you aid in your quest and what you needed to do for your heart, you would help me to heal mine. This is what I have to do.
Right. I understand that you feel responsible for what you have done here, but maybe we should.
What I have done here.
Yes.
Are you listening to yourself? What I have done here. They are undoubtedly in a better position than they were, and they'll be in a better position still once I dispatch of this woman.
When did you last come to this island?
It was several years ago.
Things change monthly.
When you killed the husband? How
I
do you
didn't
know?
know
how
of the wife.
How do you know how these slaves fared? I'm simply saying we learn from past endeavors, and we go and walk among the people and see how the slaves fare now, and see what can be done. If it turns out that the best option is to deal with the head of the snake, then we do so. But if in fact it is not dealing with the head of the snake, but stabbing the snake's nest, then, maybe we find a better way.
Well, they know me here, so why don't you go ahead? Why don't you go ahead and walk among the slaves? Why don't you go and you listen to their jovial merriment? Why don't you go and witness them being whipped in the streets? Why don't you go look at it and you tell me how we solve this problem? I'll be waiting on the boat. I've been here, Vale. I have seen firsthand.
I believe that I ought to walk among you.
Then do it. I
would
won't
like-
even resent you for it. I understand that it's no light thing to take a life. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't for the hundreds. Hundreds. It would be improved beyond measure.
And yet we come again to the, is it truly saving them?
If it's not, I will return. And I will return again, and I will return again until it is.
Gilwyn, I think we should have a look.
Yeah. And there, I just don't think knocking the top block off a seemingly infinite tower is going to do anything. It's still going to be a tower when we leave.
It will be the burning remains of a tower.
No, it won't be. It won't be.
Go have a look. Go. I don't know what else to say here. I've said my piece. Go.
We should have a look, Gil. Let's go.
Okay.
Vale will start.
Well, the question is, how are you going to get to the island? Do you want to dock? Do you want to use a lifeboat? Do you want to do a kind of ramshackle dock on one of the less populated sides of the island? Because, you know, the north and west sides are mostly just rainforest.
Well, they only know me, right? Because I didn't have the ship at the time. They don't know my ship. As long as I stay out of sight, we could probably dock.
Mm-hmm. The question is whether this ship does have a reputation with you, but whether that's traveled here so completely. They might have to bullshit, you know, the travel papers.
Yeah, let's dock. It'll be fine.
It's up to you guys.
I don't want to waste more time than necessary on this. Let us simply dock and have it over and done with.
It's not a waste of time. We just need to make sure what we're doing.
No, I simply mean waste more time on figuring out what it is we should do here.
Okay.
I'm not saying that Indira's values are wrong or a waste of time.
Okay, so you want to dock the ship.
Mm-hmm.
You can do so. This island, the town has quite a large space for docking ships. I mean, the navy vessel is a bit bigger than yours does here, and there's some smaller boats near immediately. Like when it was clear that your ship was coming up the dock, some guards started coming up to your vessel. Who's going to come down and talk to them? Or talk to them from the top. It doesn't really matter.
Vale would be happy to come down. He'd be in position.
Cool. The guards here are you know, very clearly Tron-like, but they're not wearing the armor that they would on Tron. They're wearing just sort of sort of studded leather armor, wielding quite long spears, and they're just kind of like, one of them looks down at like a paper record and is like, "What is this? What is the purpose of your vessel being here, and who are its crew? Or who's its captain?"
We are stopping off to pick up supplies, and the captain is Gilwyn Gallowgear.
Are you Gilwyn Gallagher?
No.
Hi.
This is Gilwyn Gallowgear.
Captain here.
I want you to give me a deception check, Gilwyn. Actually, I'll give you advantage because Vale is the one spinning the lie, but it's you who has
We
to walk
recently
the
acquired
walk.
the ship from Goldport.
Quite an unfavorable name for a ship. You're just getting supplies, food, water, that sort of thing.
We have a couple of repairs to do. It seems like the ship has also been through some sort of scrapes in the past.
It does look tarnished, to say the least.
Yes, it is not really
Deer's
befitting.
raging in her cabin
It is
right
not
now.
really befitting of the Gilwyn Galugir to travel in, and he just motions at like the ship.
Well, you can arrange to have your ship fixed here. Do not stay too long. There will be a shipment to Goldport soon, and we do not want the docks busied. But
how many days?
3 days.
3 days time. I see.
Well then, Gilwyn Galagir and the Scarlet Dawn, you have permission to dock.
Oh, thank you very much, Gilwyn. We have permission to dock. We've done race.
Yeah, they turn and they kind of go back down the dock. All right, you can make your way into the town.
Why couldn't you just be the captain?
Well, it's a bit conspicuous. A sun elf pirate being the captain of a pirate ship. Everyone sees you're the captain. They think, oh, he needs all the bodyguards he can. No, I mean, you know what I mean.
Okay. So 3 days.
3 days. 3 days to find out, potentially talk Indira out of this mess. And, Gil, I have a confession to make. When we were jesting about you wanting lots and lots and lots of gold,
Yes.
later I told Indira that I was sort of joking. It was a little bit flirty, It was perfect, really, And
Wow.
I said, exactly. Wow. And I was so cool. And I said, I want your ruby eyes. But I it was a little bit flirty. I was a little bit sexy, And she said they're already on me. I already have those, she said. So I don't want to piss her off now, because that might be bad for the whole thing.
There's a thing.
Well, I mean, if she said that, there's going to be a thing, right?
Sure. And I'll push my harp deeper into my pouch. No, that is great. That is great news.
Right. So, what do I do next?
What, with regards to Indira?
Do I turn this whole assassination thing into like a date? Do I continue being like flirty, or do I really am unsure of what is the next step?
I'm not exactly an expert in this field either, and the situation and circumstances with which we find ourselves in, we're not really dating.
Maybe I bring her a gift, like a show of affection. Maybe I just go and I take the woman's head and I bring it. No, that is too barbaric. Maybe some flowers.
Yeah.
Flowers are really, really nice in Sunelven culture, because they don't tend to grow so much on the flying cities.
Don't forget we're here to do something very dear to her, and if you come back with flowers,
then she will forgive me if we do not do it.
Nope.
She will thank me for the flowers?
She'll probably thank you. She's polite.
Perfect.
No. Just getting a thank you isn't good enough.
What am I... Is she supposed to kiss me as well?
She's not supposed to do anything.
Right.
You're not supposed to do anything, really.
Uh,
There's no supposed to. I guess what I'm trying to say is this is not the right time to think about this.
Are you sure?
Well, yeah, because our friend is on her boat probably very angry at the both of us. And we're spending 3 days like amongst the people that she's trying to liberate by killing the person at the very top of the tower.
But she's very passionate about this.
Yeah.
And I have you heard the saying, strike while the iron is hot?
Okay. What are you
What
striking and what's hot?
What if Indira is the iron and I am the striker and the hammer is my perspective from the island?
And why
And my gift. No, the hammer is my gift, and I am the striker, and Indira is the iron.
Why is Indira hot? Sorry, why is the iron hot right now? Why is
Because
she not?
it's passionate and angry.
Yes.
So it is hot, excited.
So you want to hit an angry woman with your gift?
Well, I meant it kind of more metaphorically.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm bouncing metaphors right back at you.
Oh, I see. So you mean doing it right now might be like a blow?
Yes, you might. I'm not a blacksmith. I don't know I don't know where this metaphor goes. You might ruin the metal if you strike right now.
I see. Okay. Okay. Right. I get you. So the iron is not up to heat yet.
Make sure she's glowing first.
Well, obviously, I mean, you wouldn't even be striking it if I mean, unless, you're trying to just put a little... Okay, fine. No gifts. Let us go and see these slaves that are being whipped and punished. And
There'll be plenty of time to stick her in a furnace.
That isn't
I don't
really
like this. Can we move away from this metaphor now?
I already had, actually. I was
Okay,
trying
good.
to, and then you sort of...
So you get off the ship, go down the docks.
Oh, I absolutely tell Indira will be 3 days. In case she didn't hear that.
We might not be-
Will you say will be 3 days, or you say there's a shipment leaving in 3 days?
I would have said the second one.
There is a shipment leaving in 3 days. Okay, just so Indira knows. When you go off down into the town, there's a couple of things that are evidently clear. One, the whole plantation is basically has a wooden wall around it. It's wooden with some stone features, and is separate from the town. The town itself doesn't seem to have. It isn't as Indira described it. You don't see people being whipped in the streets, but you do see. Just because you're going out looking for things, you see things are a little worrying. At one point, someone from the plantation is clearly going to one of the town guards for something, who is like, "Oh no, you know what? I'll give you a gold if you go and do whatever," and kind of like flicks a gold like around their fingers and kind of like teases them with it, and then just disappears. It was an illusion all alone, and just like laughs at the dejected nature of the slave that they're messing around with. You see a lot of signs of that. It's very clear who are the people who are working in the town, and who are the people who are working in the plantation. You know enough of Tranite culture that these people are probably into this slavery because of debt. They are working off debt one way or another, probably to her, probably from this town. You also hear while going around this the town, especially the docks, that first of all, you see people from Goldport. Again, very obvious. Just very obvious difference between them and the Tranites. And they're talking about the importance of the shipment of sugar and rum, and the Navy protecting it, and it sounds like it's going to be a big haul. Maybe the deal of the year, or even further. But more than the generalness of that, of you kind of wandering around the town for a little bit, what are you guys interested in looking for?
So, like, I'm just thinking here. What if So there is a boat coming from Goldport.
Mm-hmm.
The shipment is coming here to pick up rum and sugar and
Mhm.
return it to Goldport. Yes?
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah. This seems like the Navy ship that's in the docks right now, as far as you can tell, I mean, you can always get more information, is like just a general bod, like a guard ship.
What if we waited for this shipment ship to arrive, which presumably is carrying the payment for all this rum and all this sugar, and we steal the gold? And we also arrange for a letter to be sent to whatever her name is, that unless she ceases treating her slaves as such, every future shipment of large sums of gold will be intercepted and taken. Indira said she is greedy. We use her greed against her. Maybe every few years, as Indira says, we need to come back and return and raid her bank, raid her vault, raid her shipments, whatever. At least this way we know that we have a woman who is doing it for greed, not sadism.
Yeah, I suppose that's one way to root out her motivations. And but would that provide us enough clout to sell the letter to her? What I mean is, would this one thievery make her reconsider her behavior? Would she believe us?
Okay, so two-pronged, right? We steal the gold, and when an alarm is raised, and all the guards, probably from her compound, are out searching the entire city for the gold, we sneak in and we chop off one of her hands. And we say, this is what happens when slaves bite the hand that free that. No, we don't say anything like that. We just we chop it off and we say.
And we okay. You want to remove her hand?
Do you think like a foot would be better?
No, a finger, a couple fingers.
Maybe a few fingers. Yeah, maybe like I wonder how many thousands of gold there are, but we could cut off a finger for every 1,000 of gold.
You're surprisingly sadistic, but in a punny way. It's kind of strange.
I spent several decades with pirates, you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have actually seen many limbs removed, you know. There was this one time that they chopped off the hand of an orc at the wrist, and then the orc punched someone with the stump. It was very impressive, you know.
Wow.
He didn't pass out. He just punched him. You know, and like the bone was quite jagged, so it really cut into the poor guy.
What if the lady's an orc? What if you get punched by her stub?
Well, then maybe we need to adjust the plan. But I don't get the feeling that she is an orc. You know,
This is ultimately preferable to just killing her. I agree.
You agree? Yes. Do you think Indira might agree?
You could argue in one sense it's more messy long term.
So in a way, it's a greater punishment.
Messy for us.
Oh, right.
You want us to return every few years and...
Well, I mean, really, this depends upon whether or not we are friends to Indira. We both believe in our heart of hearts that killing the person in charge will not save these slaves.
Well, probably not, no.
Are we good enough friends to Indira to assist her in her what we believe to be ultimately meaningless errand, or do we wish to assist her in making her errand more? Or we steal the gold, and we don't kill anyone, and we pay off most of the slaves' debts with the gold. She can't say no. This gold came from Goldport, because we've seen people from Goldport here already. Gold from Goldport comes through, and it's just coincidence that all the slaves have paid off their debt in this time.
So we rob thousands of gold, presumably, let's say,
Yes.
and then we use that same gold, unbeknownst to her, to
yes.
pay off all of the slaves. Why will that be unbeknownst to her?
Well, I presume she doesn't wander the slaves' enclosures.
Probably not.
I should imagine most of these slaves simply have a debt of, I don't know, 50, 100 gold.
Mm-hmm.
The average man does not earn as much as we do, Gilwin.
True.
So we could possibly free have most of the slaves sell off their, pay off their own freedom.
While you think that through, we're going to take a break.
Okay.
Back in a sec.